Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got game 2 of this best of 3 from the IPL 5 Korean qualifiers, and it is between TSLValuE, who is the red Protoss player, and Evil Genius's JYP, who is the pink Protoss player in the top right. That means that this is a PvP, and if you've just come from game 1, that was pretty hectic, and I'm sure the Value is going to be kicking himself. If those of you who don't want spoilers and haven't seen it, pause, flick to my channel and find game 1. But basically, it was absolutely hectic. JYP went for a proxy 2K mass zealot and just won with that, and Value is going to be like, oh man. That kind of moment where you just don't scout something and then you just lose in the first 5 minutes of the game and you're just like, oh, your head just hits the table, you just want to cry, or you're really angry. But either way, like, you didn't beat me, like, through just being a better player. I just didn't scout, and that always hurts. But hopefully game 2 will have a bit more in store. But of course it is a best of 3 game, and that means that JYP is in a really dominant psychological spot right now. He's a game up, and based on that, obviously, if he loses this game, doesn't matter, game 3. Value, on the other hand, has to win this game, or he's out, and the next game, or he's out. So that's like kind of a bit more of a task. It seems a bit more scary. You're kind of on the ropes already, which is never where you want to be in a tournament environment, especially for the IPL 5 Korean qualifiers, which is such a kind of tense environment and really such high competition as well, like really sick. So, if we take a look here, both players gone for the one gas at a pretty similar timing, the gateways at a pretty similar timing. It's all pretty standard right now, so let's use this time to say, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. That'd be super helpful for me. Please subscribe as well. New top level games up every single day of the fine week. And of course, leave a comment and follow me on Twitter. That'd be cool because interaction is fun. So, now we've got that through, both players are still, surprise, doing exactly the same thing. The relief, of course, for Value here is he's going to come in and say, yes, thank God there are buildings here. None of those previous shenanigans yet again. But for the moment, obviously, Value just like clearly being a little bit afraid, and JYP just happily poking around, being like, where are your chrono boosts being spent? Off on the Stalker. The chrono boost is exactly the same here. The reason you chrono boost out that Stalker is just because it gives you a lot more mobility, and you can start that kind of one gateway, one Zealot, one Stalker pressure, which can be quite effective. Obviously, Stalkers are a lot quicker than Zealots, so therefore can stutter step micro them, and really should always win those fights. But having a look around, both players still doing absolutely identical things, so do not worry, you're not going to miss anything. Now, for the sake of something I'm experimenting with at the moment is kind of putting up on 2x speed when there's just little interactions like this, just until like there's some variation in the build, because one, it makes the video shorter. You don't have to listen to me waffle for quite as long while nothing is happening. But actually we do have something happening here. We do have a Stargate on its way down and a Robo, so here's the first big variation in play. But of course, neither player really engaging at the moment. The work account pretty much similar, and really it all comes down to how well Value deals with the air pressure, which I'd imagine is going to be Phoenix. There we go. But so far, neither player engaging each other at the moment. The chrono boost is coming down on those Phoenix. They're getting queued up. It'll be interesting to see if they both come out, or whether just one comes out. And was that spotted by the Stalker? I don't know. Slowing this back down to normal speed, it definitely was there. So suddenly we now know the Value does know what's coming down. He's got all of the, well, 2 Stalkers, 2 Sentries back in the mineral line, ready to defend. That first Immortal is out, and, well, now of course the cat is out of the bag, and Value just has to defend it correctly, and he's going to be absolutely fine. And I mean, he's got these units here, he's got more Stalkers coming in. That Phoenix isn't going to have fun times at all down at this base, and it's actually going to lose all of its shields, not losing any health point damage yet, but there we go, that Stalker getting off a couple of hits, always useful. Meanwhile, the second Stalker on its way, and a small little attack force coming down for JYP, and it all comes down to whether Value can defend this. Obviously, this map is really great for defender's advantage, purely because this ramp really narrow, just one force field can block it off. But the purpose of these Phoenix, as well as like lifting and trying to do a little bit of damage, is it also gives vision of the high ground, which allows the Stalkers to shoot up that ramp, making the force fields a little less effective. Value and JYP both putting down pylons, although the pylons have been spotted there by JYP. He's still floating around with those Phoenix, but those Stalkers and Sentries are going to be able to do a lot of damage very, very quickly to those Phoenix. But the pylon has been spotted, won't get cancelled just as those units get over. That's going to be incredibly irritating. Some more of those Phoenix are getting taken down. There are up to 4 now. A big warp in of more Zealots. And of course Blink on the way for Value. So this is a really, really nice play at the moment. And to be honest, I think Value is in a good spot. Even though supply lead is there for JYP, those Phoenix are not going to be too integral. They're going to probably try and lift that Immortal, just to prevent that doing huge damage to the Stalkers. But these Stalkers they're running around very, very comfortably, and the defender's advantage is definitely there for Value right now. He's got a couple of Sentries, and the Sentries actually being chosen to be picked off here by those Phoenix. One Phoenix does go down, and of course, by picking off the Sentries, it means there's no more force fields on this ramp, which basically means that JYP can walk up it whenever he so wishes, but a couple of pylons going down just trying to narrow the choke even more. We do have Value just trying to make a really, really tight choke point up at the top of this ramp. The Immortal gets picked up though. That is never fun. The shields are down, the Zealots are streaming in, and there is the money force field. And if that last Phoenix goes down, the vision would still be there, however, because of course those units are at the top of the ramp rather than stuck at the bottom, and this is an all-out firefight. This Immortal though is doing huge, huge damage. If it does stay up, it's going to be great, but it does manage to get focused down, and at the moment this is all pretty hectic. Who's out on top is pretty tough to say. I mean, I'd have to say it is just in Value's favour. He's got Blink done, and that Blink micro being demonstrated amazingly here is really where he's going to pull ahead, and JYP having to just run those Stalkers back. Good lift on one of the Stalkers, or one of those by JYP. They're trying to minimise the damage they can do. But this Blink micro, absolutely beautiful. Neither player producing at the moment, just focusing completely on the micro. Value getting a couple more Stalkers in, and this is getting pretty close, but there's just one more Stalker, and there's the GG from JYP, and of course Value does take game 2, so that series is now leveled up 1-1. So stick with me and we will go straight over to game 3. So go to my channel and you'll find it there. See you in a sec.